let's move to the Rajasthan Royals, shall we? This is a fascinating team to talk about because it's almost like that student who had to study last minute before the exam, night before the exam, try and finish as many chapters, literally walking into the hall. So let's see what ratings we give them. Buttler, Samson, and we're hearing, Buttler, Yashasvi Jaiswal, we're hearing from the owner that Devdutt Padikkal will bat 3, which is interesting. Let me get a first comment on that itself, Wasim. Would you have Yashasvi with Devdutt at 1 and 2 and Buttler in the middle, or would you have Devdutt bat at 3?
I would like to see Buttler bat at probably 4 or 5. Actually, I would like to see him as a finisher. Somebody who finishes the game. So I don't mind Buttler batting middle. Then
let me get a quick opinion on that. Dan, Buttler at 4, because such a big debate. This Buttler at Rajasthan has literally carried them to the playoffs in one season. Now, would you put him?
First of all, I love how the owner's picking the batting order already. It's a sign of good things to come. Look, I mean, I don't mind Buttler at 4. I think he prefers to open. I think that's where he's been incredibly successful. But does it put Jaiswal and Padikkal in their best positions at the top of the order? Who knows? So, I think they're I think either way they go, I think their top order is still strong.
Yes. Buttler, Samson, Yashasvi, Padikkal. How would you put? Let's place that top 4. Come on, let's put it in.
I would do Padikkal and Jaiswal at the top.
Okay, let's put that
because Padikkal's record after the power play, it was a huge criticism last time around. He couldn't kind of get his strike rate up unless he's really improved his game. I wouldn't bat him at 3, whereas both Padikkal and Jaiswal can play freely, knowing that Buttler is still there to come, etc. So that helps. Samson at 3, Buttler at 4.
Okay, let's try that. I love Buttler at the top, but yeah, probably is the best team then. So Buttler at 4.
I think Hetmeyer at 5.
Yeah, Hetmeyer certainly will play in this team. So let's put Shimron Hetmeyer in at 5.
And then one of Neesham or Daryl Mitchell at 6.
Mm-hmm.
I would be tempted to play Van der Dusen at 6.
Rasi Van der Dusen, okay. But you think he's got a bad...
He doesn't... None of them bowl Wasim otherwise.
Yeah, that's the problem RR is going to have.
I mean, these were not panic, but certainly last second buys, not even last minute buys. Both Neesham and Daryl Mitchell. Surely it can't be part of strategy. 4 players coming in the last accelerated process when teams were allowed to send in only 2. So Neesham, Mitchell, Coulter-Nile and Van der Dusen all came in then.
The top 5, nobody bowls. So that's a huge challenge.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Let's fill in the rest of the team, see where we are, because we did praise them. Now, Riyan Parag, does he walk into this team? Perhaps he has to. At 3.8 crore, franchise has got him back. So he's probably going to start, even though he, funny enough, was dropped from the team towards the end of IPL 2021. So let's put Parag in there and see if we need to get rid of him. So Parag to follow the overseas all-rounders or the Indian all-rounder or before them. You're certainly going to have Ashwin. You're certainly going to have
Chahal, Bolt, Prasidh.
Yeah, Ashwin, Chahal, Bolt, Prasidh. Last 4 pick themselves. Not a lot of batting in those last 4 though.
Who's got a better bottom 4, Mumbai or Rajasthan? No, Ashwin wins. Ashwin wins for it. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's unfair to have Ashwin. GS already slandered him, saying he couldn't bat.
How do you think Trent Bolt's going to feel about batting 9, Dan?
No, he's permanently 11. He never bats anywhere but 11. He's a good 11. He's a very good 11.
We know Chahal bats above Prasidh Krishna in the Indian team. So that's your team. But anyway, let's leave that out. Yeah.
RR is like the Indian team. The top 4 doesn't bowl. The top four bowlers doesn't bat. So that's going to be tricky.
Yeah. The bowlers don't bat. The batters don't bowl. So that's and they have to therefore split the difference. And you're left with Riyan Parag. I'm trying to see if they have any Indian all-round options in that. GS standing.
I was going to say they could. Could they bat Ashwin at 7, Coulter-Nile at 8, and feel between the 2 of them that gives them enough of a batsman, and that makes their bowling that much stronger.
Ooh, Ashwin at 7 and Nathan Coulter-Nile at 8. As it stands, you've got 4 specialist 4-over bowlers: Ashwin, Chahal, Prasidh Krishna, and Bolt, and you'll need 4 overs out of Neesham and Parag. As against what Dan Vettori is suggesting, you bring in Coulter-Nile. Oh, it's It's a tricky one, isn't it? Ashwin 7, Kultanai 8. What would you go, Dan? Come on. You've worked with the Royals before, even though it was the Barbados.
I would go. I think Kultanol's, if he's fit, then I think I'd get him in the team, albeit knowing that he's not going to get through the full allotment of games. So just to start with, I would have that bowling strength first and foremost.
Okay, all right. So then it's going to be a toss-up: Nisham stroke Mitchell stroke Kultanai. That's essentially what we're saying. As much as we'd like to see Rassi van der Dusen, perhaps his best chance, Wasim, is if he comes in as a replacement for either Buttler or Hetmai if they're not available or they're not fit or something like that.
Yeah.
Wasim, yeah, happy with that then. All right, any more permutations? Any other Indian player we can throw in? There's no Indian all-rounder there, is there, GS? Wasim, any Indian all-round option that they have other than Parag?
Not that I can see. I mean, again, they've got all the players, but whether you want to pick them in the 11, it's a big question mark. They've got their squad filled, but if you want to play them, there's a big question mark.
Yeah.
Again, this is where the auction dynamics in terms of in hindsight, Rajasthan will regret that they couldn't get Jason Holder because they ended up buying so many overseas players in the end. If you had picked Holder for that particular slot of Nisham, Mitchell and Kultanai, maybe things would have looked slightly more different because his bowling prowess is much, much better than the three bowlers here, right? And he's in peak of his game. So, and they had so much money with them. So, that's where that extra 1 or 2 crores makes a difference. In hindsight, you've kind of made up that slot, but we'll have to wait and see how this pans out.
All right.
They've got a very strong bowling attack. They've got decent bowling attack, but the batting so much depends on Sanju and Joss. If they doesn't fire, and then obviously Devdutt and Yashasvi, they're pretty new, like we said. It's very
I think
scary.
cool. Dan, do you can? One more thing I'm looking at there is death bowling. Prasidh Krishna's on. I mean, Trent Bolt is still. You think if you ask him where he'd like to finish his overs, it will be before 18 and 20. Fair to say that's a concern too. They don't quite have a number of players putting their hand up to bowl at the death.
They're probably not alone in that.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
So I mean, Bolt nails it, and that's why Coulter-Nile, I think, can come back into it as well. I think if you have Coulter-Nile and Bolt, then that allows Prasidh Krishna to not worry about it. But it does put a lot on those two.